Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Finance and Accounting Show, and today I have on two very, very great accountants that, I think we share a lot in common with just realizing that accounting is more than just, being good at math and it's just something that happens in the background, but it actually is a very essential and helpful tool to having a successful business. So stay tuned for a great show.
Welcome to another episode of the Finance and the Accounting Show. This is the place to go for small business owners. If you're looking for a great way to understand the finance and the accounting side of your business, you're in the right place. So stay tuned and enjoy the episode.
So without further ado, let me bring on my great guests, Mark Waller and Betsy Morem. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is my pleasure. Now, people know that, your background is accounting, which, probably is very, very easy to guess if they're watching the finance and the accounting show. But let's start with Betsy and tell us a little bit more about, your background, just kind of how you got into accounting.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've been working with small businesses and startups for about 7 years now. My first college degree actually wasn't in accounting. I went for Spanish and international relations. I didn't really have specific career goals in college, though I can say with confidence that I was a hard worker. I actually kind of stumbled into accounting as a career. I learned about it through a close personal relationship in my early 20s. And I decided to take some courses and found that I really enjoyed it and was actually pretty good at it. While I was studying and earning the credits to become eligible to sit for the CPA exam, I was working with clients and I enjoyed the variety of working with clients in different industries, as well as the flexibility of working with them virtually. So I just knew it was a really good career option for me. And, I've been loving it ever since I started it.
Nice, nice. Now, Mark, how about yourself? How did you get into accounting?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar to Betsy. I didn't wake up, as a kid and think I'm going to be an accountant. But I did. As I got into college, I took some college courses, found I really enjoyed it. My grandfather was an accountant, a controller at a manufacturing company. So I knew about it, and I thought, it's a great way to kind of follow in my extended family's footsteps a little bit. So it ended up being a really great match. Started my career in public accounting, spent about 10 plus years as a controller for the nonprofit sector. Kind of got a huge variety from the smaller to mid-size to kind of bigger nonprofits. And so got a wide variety of controllership and financial leadership experience there. And really, when the pandemic started, I was kind of looking for ways to get back into public accounting. It was a thing that I really missed. My kids, who were very young, were a little bit older. So I was ready to kind of jump back into that sector because I really enjoyed working with clients. And Betsy, who I had been doing some work with, she's been had her own small business for several years before I joined her officially. She and I collaborated on some tax returns in the past. Did some moonlighting, and I thought, why don't I talk to Betsy and see if we can get this partnership started. It ended up being a perfect match with each other. Kind of have similar goals, similar beliefs, and really from the perspective of being a finance leader in kind of a virtual space, and having more kind of modern, family friendly, strong, values as an organization, we were able to build it from the ground up.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, before we jump a little bit more, because I definitely want to talk a little bit more about your experiences. Before we jump into that, one of the things I'm very curious is to get your thoughts and your opinion on, because this is something that I hear a lot is when people find out that I'm accountant, they're like, oh, you must be good in math. So Betsy, do you hear people say that, or what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, all the time. That and, automatically ask me tax questions. And I always use the analogy that accountants are a lot like engineers. We all specialize in different different things. But yeah, people say that you must be good at math, and I say really accounting is more about learning rules, and the math is very basic. You're not doing any calculus or anything on the accounting side. But no, I always laugh when people ask me that, and I think if you if you're good at understanding rules and applying those rules, I think that you can excel at accounting even if you don't consider yourself a math whiz.
Yeah,
No, oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I've always considered it more like learning a language than math, because it's like you have GAAP accounting, you have cash accounting, you have assets, liabilities, equity, net assets if you're in a nonprofit sector. So it's more like that. And yeah, I laugh too. I whenever what happens to me a lot is, if I'm out for dinner with some friends, they hand me the bill and are like, "Well, you're the accountant." I'm like, I'm just as good as a calculator as you guys are. So go to town.
The other thing, Terrell, I don't know if you have ever had anyone say this to you, but when I was first getting into accounting, I had a friend that said, "You can't be an accountant. You're too fun to be an accountant." Like in order to be an accountant, you have to be boring and no personality.
Yeah, I will say, what's been so funny is that, in doing this show, that's been something that's come up a lot more, where people, when I tell them like, oh, I'm a CPA by trade, and they're like, really? Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, I have the test scores, the experience, the proof.
Right.
Yes, I'm sure.
Right.
So I mean, one of the things you also brought up that I think is very interesting is, you talked about, similar to like with engineering. I mean, not all engineers are exactly the same. I mean, you have, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, industrial engineers, and that's something that I think it becomes very common because, from an engineer perspective, they usually will tell you what type of engineer. But a lot of times when it comes down to accountants, we tend to kind of lump ourselves in like one big category. So
Right.
as you kind of navigated kind of your career, how did you kind of find your path on, hey, what, this is the type of accounting I want to focus on? And we can start with you, Betsy.
It's a good question. I think, again, it's something that I just, after working with different businesses in different industries, just kind of figured out who I liked working with. And I don't think I have one specific industry. It's more about the person, the type of company, the culture of the company that I look for. I mean, are they willing to bring themselves up to date with technology? Are they going to be open to suggestions that I have, or are they going to kind of fight that constantly? So I look more for the type of person that I would be working with, less than, the specific business or area. I think when it comes to small businesses and startups, you can really work with a lot of different industries. And also we have a couple of niches that we're in as well. But I think overall, I look more for the right fit for personalities and goals.
And how about you, Mark?
Yeah, I agree. I think what I look at when I'm thinking about what's my role and what's our firm's role going to be in helping drive a business towards success is you have to be open to having the finance function be a key part of that. And I think you have to be open to having open, honest dialogue with each other within that leadership team of an organization. So one of the niches that we work with quite a bit is cannabis, actually. And what we find is entrepreneurs, business owners who are really passionate about the business, and they want to do the right thing by hiring us. And so they want to have that open, honest communication. That's really kind of where it starts with. I mean, we can crunch the numbers as much as we need to. We can help project 5-year forecasts and things like that. But when it comes down to it, to really be successful, you have to be open and honest with each other and work together as a team.
And that's a very interesting point that you bring up. I mean, because in the cannabis industry, I mean, I would say the rules are not all as laid out as some of your more legacy industry, because as
Right.
Absolutely.
it's an
Absolutely.
ever evolving one. So,
Yes.
as you find entrepreneurs that come into that space, at what level of dependency do they end up having on the accountant to help them kind of navigate the unknown?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really important part, and I think those business owners, they have to be open to letting go of some of what they think they need to do. So it needs to be, letting go of the idea that maybe you'll be able to run a dispensary and keep your QuickBooks up and keep doing all these things. There's not enough hours in the day for anybody to do that and do it well. And like you said, especially with regard to things like 280E and audit requirements that are going to be coming fast and furious, especially to new business owners in the space. It's really important to one of the what we call letting go of the vine. It's actually is just, you have to be a business owner that is willing to trust their leadership, and that's where we like to come in and help fill that role.
Yeah, and I think a lot of business owners, they see the finance function as an expense. They don't necessarily see the value of it. And I think if you hire the right professional, you will get your money's worth out of them over and over again. So it's communicating when we're speaking with prospective clients. It's communicating that we're not just the bean counters. We are there to be your strategic partner, and we are going to we're going to help you achieve your goals. We're going to lay those goals out. We're going to be your strategic partner, and we're just as invested in this business as you are.
Gotcha. And I completely agree, because I think that, that when people learn to, partner with the right accountant or right finance person, it does start to open up tons of opportunity for them. And it also allows them to stay out of trouble that they probably would have gotten themselves in because they just didn't know the rules. And I know in one of the industries that you guys spend a lot of time in is with cannabis. And going back to how young that industry is, what was it about the cannabis industry that interests you guys to say, hey, you know what, we can learn about this and really help some clients? Like, why the cannabis industry for you?
I can start. I think the fact that it's a new industry, that there is an opportunity to help kind of write the rules of the industry from the start, is really appealing. From a personal perspective, it's really appealing to me that so many of the businesses that are going into kind of the legal cannabis space have a social justice lens. And so from being in a nonprofit sector to back in public accounting, it's a really easy transition for me. And I'm always looking for a mission more than just making dollars and cents at the end of the day. So that helps quite a bit. It makes me feel like we're making a difference. And yeah, I mean, like the what I want the most is to be able to offer those business owners in the cannabis space CPA level services, so that they can be successful. Because if they're getting bad advice from somebody, especially as a startup, it can really sink them quickly. And obviously competition is fierce, so we want to be able to help them succeed from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for myself, it's similar reasons. I saw it as an exciting thing to get into. And also, it's a very underserved market in terms of accountants that are working with cannabis clients. So it was an opportunity for us, and also something unique and in a way to provide a lot of value to business owners who maybe have been doing it for a long time and now kind of want to get out of the black market and start doing things the right way. And so helping them stay compliant and helping them sleep at night, I think is something very valuable that we can bring to our clients. And it's very rewarding for us as well.
Absolutely. I love that you said that about, that helping them sleep at night, because When I started my firm, one of the things that I started realizing is that, the what people don't know about the financial and the accounting side has really been keeping a lot of business owners up at night. I mean, it's like they
Yeah.
love their business, but it's just like sometimes they literally would wake up in the middle of the night like, are we gonna have enough money for this? Or
Yeah.
hey, is there a compliance, or hey, do we file this, or did this get done and stuff like that. So I think that's
Hmm.
an amazing point that you brought up. Now, if people are really interested in following, hey, what you guys are up to, what's going on, where can they find you online or on social media?
Yes, you can find us. Our website is moremwaller.cpa. And we're also trying to keep our Instagram interesting and engaging. And our handle is Morem Waller CPA. So please give us a follow. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook, but we're definitely more active on Instagram.
Gotcha, gotcha. Awesome, awesome. And it looks like you guys have some amazing posts coming out on a regular basis. So, one of the things that really stands out to me too is also just, what that journey has been like in, using your different backgrounds to work together in one business. So we'll
Mhm.
start with Mark. What has that journey been like? And make sure you say something nice because Betsy can hear everything you say.
um, I mean, it's been amazing. I tell myself, I tell Betsy too, like, there's no way I could have started this on my own. I just, I need somebody to bounce things off of, and just have. I need to have a meeting with somebody and not just myself. So, just having that, even just having like an accountability partner in a way, and check in with each other and help each other out is huge. So, more power to the people that can start their own firms on their own. But I'm not one of those people. I need a partner. So, it's been great.
Yeah, and we both have different backgrounds and different skill sets. So bringing those skill sets together is has been really great. And also, it's just nice to have somebody else that you can rely on. If, say, something comes up and you can't make it to a client meeting, it's nice to know that I've got a partner who can cover for me. I didn't have that before, it was like a one-man show. So that's been awesome for me. I mean, it has reduced a lot of stress in my life.
It's been
And
helpful too. Like, we both have young children at home, and so that idea of being a flexible workplace, having been in the industry, no matter how flexible a workplace is, it's not as flexible as having your own business, and so that's been incredibly important to us. As we grow and as we hire, we fully intend to keep some of those flexible work policies that we've implemented. We've implemented our own 4-day work week policy since we started. We've implemented just the fact that we're a fully work from home business. That doesn't mean that we won't have an office someday, but we'll always have at least some component of virtual work. So I think, with the eye toward what employees are looking for and what employers are looking for, we want to kind of be a forward-looking CPA firm that really values those areas of flexibility and approachability.
and actually means it.
Yes, and actually
You
means it.
know,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not just
yeah.
saying it. We may not
Exactly.
have a ping pong table or beer on tap or something, but
Right.
we actually are flexible.
Yes.
No, I absolutely love it. And before we wrap up, one final question I always love asking every guest that comes on, I mean, is, when you think about, your journey of where you've been and you think about where you guys are now and just your sights for the future, what's one piece of wisdom that you would share with other business owners? And I'll say, we'll start with Betsy on this
Okay. Well, my piece of advice would be to get your accounting systems set up. If you're a new business, get them set up early. We often talk to business owners who have been in business for a year and they haven't done any accounting. And I wonder, how do you know how your business is even doing? So don't put it on the back burner. You have to take your accounting and finance seriously. So get those systems set up right away and keep up with them, and you won't regret it.
Awesome. And Mark?
I think just from a kind of a personal internal perspective, you just have to be willing to try and fail at things, because as a business owner, we've seen business owners, we've worked with business owners, and we are business owners ourselves. So you have to be willing to have an open mind. You have to be willing to say, this is working really great, and you have to be willing to say, this maybe isn't so working so great, and you have to be able to be decisive if those things are not going well. You have to say no to that. So I mean, we've done that ourselves. When we first started, there were some areas of business where we started looking at it, and quickly we were like, this isn't for us. So you have to know what you want and be decisive.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, Mark and Betsy, thank you guys so much for being amazing guests, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having us. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Finance and Accounting Show. If you like what you heard, don't be selfish. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and then share this with a friend, because you know a business owner that could definitely use this insight. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates when we release a new